I know, I've been complaining for a long time about people being unable to use computers, especially young people, which is pretty interesting. But, new study, a lack of intelligence, not training, may be why people struggle with computers. You don't know how to use the computer? You might be stupid. Don't worry, we all are a little bit stupid. Experts say that a person's intelligence plays a bigger role in their computer proficiency than previously believed. So much so that practice alone may not be enough to ensure ease of use. And you have to remember, technology has been getting more and more quote unquote convenient for the past 10 to 15 years, to the point that if you know how to actually use the computers, it's a detriment to you, because you lose control. A new study has found that general cognitive abilities such as perception, reasoning, and memory are more important than previously believed in determining a person's ability to perform everyday tasks on a computer. I believe it. I truly believe it. Especially perception. Have you seen people nowadays? They seem absolutely blind. Quite literally. Quite literally. Our research findings are the first clear proof that cognitive abilities have a significant, independent, and wide-ranging effect on people's ability to use a computer. Contrary to what was previously thought, cognitive abilities are as important as previous experience of computer use, says Aalto University's professor Antti Oldasvirta. That guy Indian too? Who studied human-computer interaction extensively with his team. I mean, it's tech, so probably. Maybe not. I have no idea. Who cares? The researchers emphasized that findings raise concerns about digital equality. Digital equality? Oh my god, this is going a different way than expected. As user interfaces have grown increasingly complex, no? Quite literally the opposite. Practice alone is no longer enough. Cognitive ability is now a key factor in successfully navigating digital environments. Everything has gotten extremely simplistic. To a fault. What do you mean, complex? If only that was the case. It is clear that differences between individuals can be eliminated simply by means of training. In the future, user interfaces need to be streamlined for simpler use. Buddy, I think we are in that future already. If they're too stupid, even then, it's not my fault. This age-old goal has been forgotten at some point. Unaccurately designed interfaces have become a driver for digital divide. Am I going crazy? Are interfaces actually more complex right now? I don't think that is true. Sure, I guess I can agree that some buttons are not intuitive, like, oh, this is settings, okay, but why is it 3 dots or 3 lines? It makes no sense. Give it a cog symbol and call it a day. We can promote a deeper and more equal use of computers in society unless we solve this basic problem. But maybe it doesn't have to be equal. Maybe some people deserve less, as a joke. For legal reasons. It shows that some people are not prepared to be on the internet right now. Also, minors. On a side note, the research was carried out jointly by researchers from the Aalto University Department of Information and Communications Engineering and the University of Helsinki Department of Psychology. It's still the most significant factor. I'm not that sure. The subjects belonging to different age groups participated in the study. They were given 18 different tasks, and the researchers observed how they performed. The tasks include the software installation, navigation, use of spreadsheets, and filling in forms. Okay, let's be real. Spreadsheets are kind of ass. It really depends on the kind of system you're using for them, because they have different syntax, and sometimes different language. That has screwed me over at some point, especially with dates. Mind you. Dates are always such a pain in the ass. The estimation of cognitive abilities is based on a standardized and well-established measurement method in the field. This is the first ever study to measure users' actual ability to perform daily tasks on a PC, as previous studies have relied on participants self-assessing their abilities via questionnaires. We know that people may have a false sense of their own abilities, which is why it was important to measure how well they actually performed the tasks, says University lecturer Viljami Salmela from the University of Helsinki. Maybe they're just Scandinavian. They're also a mystery to me, what can you say? The study provided a wealth of new information about the most vital cognitive abilities. While the speed of processing is important in computer games, it is not emphasized in everyday tasks on the computer. The study revealed that, in particular, working memory, attention, and executive functions stand out as the key abilities. When using a computer, you must determine the order in which things are done and keep in mind what has already been done. A purely mathematical or logical ability does not help in the same way, says Miller. But you're literally saying nothing. That's everything you do, right? You cannot start building a home from the ceiling, because it doesn't make any sense. You can in Minecraft. This is not Minecraft. For the last time, this is real life. So, of course, if you're doing tasks, some tasks have an order. Have you tried cooking? It has an order, right? They're literally saying nothing with this. It's insane. Of course, using a computer is a skill, because everything is a skill when you think about it. Come to Old Virtu, there are also major differences between applications and the user interfaces. Let's see what they mention. For example, the most important thing in using a spreadsheet program is practice. While linguistic capabilities are highlighted in information retrieval tasks and executive functions are emphasized in online banking. Online banking. You cannot catch me with that. That's so dangerous. It went with a different direction, to be fair. However, the research findings also show that age remains the most important factor in how well an individual can use applications. Older people clearly took more time to complete their tasks, and they also felt that the assignments were more burdensome, told Sal Miller. I've seen young people using computers, and they're worse than my mother, and my mother is not that great, let me tell you. She is not that great. And since she knows how to use spreadsheets. As an example. And this is somehow or somewhat the other side of this same coin, right? Because, sure, I can agree that there's a push for stuff to be digitized and whatnot. But that's also because a lot of people are extremely lazy. Have you gone to, I don't know, to a burger place to eat, and suddenly they don't have menus anymore, and you have to scan QR codes? Yeah, that happened to me this week. It's not even a joke, that happened to me this week. I'm like, okay, but I'm here. What if I don't have a phone? What if I forgot my phone? What if my phone doesn't have battery? And all that stuff. It cannot be that difficult or expensive to make physical menus. That has been the case forever, literally forever. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. Or how they just forego making a website, even if it's a bare bones website, which nowadays it's so extremely easy. And they just have something like a Facebook page, or God, even worse, just the WhatsApp contact information. If I say one of those places, yeah, I'm not going in. I don't care enough. I don't care enough, just stab me and finish this. Finish with this already. But actually the people that know how to properly use computers is declining. We've talked about this many times before. Oh, but young people, oh, they know so much about computers now. They don't really know a lot about computers. I've seen a lot of young people that never used computers, and they just do everything with phones. And sure, phones can do a lot of things right now. But you know what happens with phones too? They do everything on their own. So of course you're not gonna learn anything. Ah, but I don't see the app in the Google Store. And they die, they collapse. Blue screen, they just break down. And that's it. I'm not looking forward to the future in this regard. I do know about computers, at least. I do not know everything, okay? But I guess I know more than most, which is okay. I might be stupid, maybe not stupid enough. Somewhat scary. The lack of intelligence with the user or developer who is constantly changing and jumbling UIs to make it better. If anything is more than its user manual. This also brings a good point, for a different reason. Because it is true that they are changing and jumbling UIs constantly. And it's always worse. But you know why this happens? Because web devs have to justify their existence in the company by making new UIs, which is so extremely annoying. I don't think YouTube has gotten any good UI in the past 10 years. I don't think the changes to the Twitter's UI have been good in any way, shape or form. And that can be said about literally pretty much every site. But they had to justify their existences. Also, what's the deal with the new buttons? Everything has to be rounded. Oh my god. Oh my god, not the corners. They're so scary. What's going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. Okay, nothing is going to happen. You're not going to hurt your eyes on them, okay? Just give me some of my edge back. Is that so much to ask? Maybe it is. That's always so ugly. And sure, rounded buttons might be okay, but sometimes they're just a circle. God, so ugly.